Hey, this is Brady at East Rosebud Fly and Tackle. I'm here today to tie you my Peach Fuzz caddis. This particular fly is tied on a 60-degree jig hook. I certainly tie them on just straight nymph hooks as a swinging caddis type fly. But the jig hook is a really versatile fly in the sense that it fishes both in tailwaters and in freestone rivers. I've caught fish on it in the Horn all the way to the Madison, the Yellowstone, the Stillwater. So it's just a really good all-around pattern that is really not out there yet. So it's pretty darn unique, and let's tie it. All right, so to start this fly, we're tying on a Fullingmill 50-45. This is a 14. With a 1/8 inch tungsten slotted bead. You can tie this bug in just a ton of different colors, whatever you really prefer, especially on the pattern without the bead if you're going to swing it. A purple body is probably my favorite one to swing, but in this particular fly we're going to tie it in a tan caddis. So we're going to start with, this is Veevus iridescent thread to build up the body, and we're going to start this kind of right at the midway point of this hook and work our way back. And you can bulk up this body really however you like. I tend to get a really thick body with a pretty defined taper from back to front. And it's fairly important to not go too far forward because it'll jam up our process moving forward here. Something like that. From there, we're just going to whip finish this off. Okay, now we're going to move over to some UTC 70. This is in fluorescent orange. Get that started right ahead of your body. Cover up that tag a little bit. Okay, now we're going to build kind of a hotspot thorax on this thing. You can use pink, again, whatever color you like. I prefer the red eye stub for this, especially on the swinging fly. Okay, we're just going to build a nice big thorax here. Something like that right there. From here, we're going to make a dubbing loop. Jump in with our dubbing tool here. This is the Stone Foe dubbing tool. And what's going into the dubbing loop is CDC. This is from Trout Hunter. I'll do my best to show you this on camera, but basically we're going to preen out these one side of this feather, get a good bunch of them, and we're going to go straight into our material clamp about halfway up that feather, like so, and cut that off just so we have a little tiny bit of room to play with here and get it into our loop. All right, we'll spin that up a few times. All right, and we're just going to palmer this kind of one wrap after another here and kind of work it up to the bead. And you can kind of jam this because there's really only one more step after this CDC, so you can get it right up against the back of that bead there. We'll tie that off. All right, we're going to preen these fibers back with our left hand, kind of work back just a little bit. And what I like to do with this one, if you take your right hand and kind of push these CDC fibers back, anything that extends way past the body, or the bend of this hook, I'm sorry, I'll just take and kind of shorten up with my fingers like this. You can kind of overdo it with the CDC. I kind of tend to like when it just touches the back of that body. And the final step here is going to be a soft hackle collar. So we will tie that in right behind this slotted bead. Make sure it's set well before we really lash down on it. And with this, you can certainly overdress the soft hackle, to me anyways. I tend to go 1.5 wraps, if that makes sense. So here is your first half wrap to there. And then we're just going to bring this up top like this, and there's your 1.5. Tie that off. Couple wraps on the feather, couple wraps ahead of the feather to make sure it's bitten down good. From there, we will kind of preen these fibers back and build just a little bit of an orange collar onto this fly. Whip finish a few times. And there is your Peach Fuzz caddis. Great all-around bug. Again, you can tie it without the bead and swing it if you'd like, but tailwaters and freestone, this is a bug you should tie and have in your box come caddis time. Thanks for joining us.